Hey guys, and welcome back to week 9 of the High School Esports League Championship. I'm, of course, Mitch, replays Anderson, joined, of course, by Max, former Von Newman, and Zoe today as a last addition to the desk. How you guys going today?
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. I'm speaking for both of us, so I know I'm still doing good. I'm assuming you're doing well as well.
I'm doing pretty well.
Yeah, and I'm excited. Like week 9, 2 weeks of regular season left until we're getting into our tie breaks and then our top 16 playoffs. So things are really going to be starting to get dramatic from this point forward.
Yeah, of course. And today we have another returning team like we did last week in SPCC. We have our SPS Legacy today playing against the Merrimac Sparkle Squad, I believe their team name's called. So interesting name there between these two teams. We're good to see them getting into the match. Both high-ranked teams, right? 3rd and 5th, I think, on the
It's 3rd and 6th, actually. So Legacy is coming in to 3rd place right now. They just had a tough loss against KG4, this sort of mysterious undefeated team that we haven't even seen on stream yet. We'll get to them soon, I'm sure. If not during the regular season, then for sure during the playoffs and during tie breaks and all of that, because they look unstoppable on paper. And coming up against them, the Sparkle Squad from Merrimac, and they're a 6th place team. They're one of the later entries, but they've only dropped 1 match so far, so they're definitely one of the hotter teams right now. It was a recent loss, but it wasn't last week. It was 2 weeks ago. I still think they're on the climb, and it will be a real test for Legacy to see if they are really that top 4 team that they are pretending to be right now. Yeah. Will they make it legit or not? We're going to find out.
I did hear, of course, that St. Paul actually did coaching as well for their school, so you know, maybe they could be seeing how that's gone and see how they've improved since the first week, especially.
Are you aware of who this coach is?
Hush, hush. No. It's
hush,
on the deal. It's real deal.
Hush. Yeah.
So, sorry. Tell us more about yourself. How did you get into League of Legends, and how long have you been playing for, stuff like that?
I started playing back in high school myself, end of year 10. All my friends were really into it, and I thought if I got into the game, I'd be able to finally have something I can properly talk to them about. So I started the game. I had originally played a round with a friend, and they'd showed me Gnar, and I was like, you know what? That's pretty cool. And I mean, it took me a while to get into the game, but once I got in, I've stuck to it. I've been into it ever since. I love going to all the events and seeing what's happening with the game.
Why is it always a Yordle that brings people in?
I don't know.
And for me, it was Teemo. For you, it was Gnar. For you, it was
Katarina.
Yeah, always the Yordles. always the Yordles, man.
It's just my favorite.
I don't think I've ever played a Yordle ever. I think I don't think I've any. Maybe Tristana.
You play Zoe. She's close enough to one.
I mean, Celestial Yordle. Sure, that's close enough. Same thing.
As annoying as one, that's for sure.
If he's annoying as Teemo, I can. Not really, actually.
No one's that.
No one's that.
Actually, I'd argue Talon and Fizz are.
Yeah, if you're playing Aurelian's Flag, 100% agree. So what role do you play now? What champions are you playing now? Obviously, you moved on from Gnar.
Yeah, I'm a support main. At the moment, I'm just trying a bit of everything. I did one-trick Lulu for up to almost a year, and that got a little boring, as one might imagine.
Yeah.
So I've tried to broaden my champion pool, and by broaden, I mean I just one-trick Sona now.
Right. Is the skins the Odyssey skin or no?
No, I have DJ Sona. I got gifted it way back when.
Right.
I think, moving on though, it's time to take a look at what we have prepared for today.
That's right, yeah. So today we put together some tier lists for you guys back at home. They're kind of odd because tier lists are really hard to do because you don't really know how to correctly rank champions. If you want to do via pro play, via solo queue press, in high elo and low elo, it's all different. So I've kind of just put them together as just averages in terms of how strong they are in all facets of the game.
This is the UQ tier list, so it exists for everyone who's watching to just tell us how wrong and how bad we are.
It was a bit of fun, put something in the segment. So of course, starting off with the top lane, as you see, bringing it up here. We've got up in S tier at the moment. I've put Ornn, Silas, Jax, and Riven. I definitely not recommend picking up Riven until you hit at least mid diamond if you're at home. But Champion's really strong right now with Spear Shojin. Jax is just really good to climb with, and Ornn is super busted right now because the champion just doesn't die and does so much damage. It's ridiculous.
I think some of the unique things that you have on this tier, I'm going to be Janna for this, but I think some of the unique things that you have on this tier list really comes from the Nasus being low and the Malphite being so low, because I feel as solo queue champions, especially in lower elo, they're quite easy to climb on until you get to, let's say, gold. So why are they at C and not, let's say, B or... I got a little too high. A!
I put Nasus in Malphite C just because they're good in low elo, right? But they're not good once you get probably past mid gold or when you get up to pro player, of course, which is where the most of the hardcore player base is. So it's not really a champion that's super strong. I wouldn't recommend you pick him up because it only gets you to gold. But the champions like Ornn, Jax, Aatrox, Hecarim, if you get really good with those champions, they get you into challenger, right?
Yeah.
Despite seeing it in the pro play, you've put Pyke all the way at the bottom. Were you
Because you should not play it in my solo queue games. You should not play Pyke in my solo queue games in any role other than support. And even then, just play Lulu.
If it's good enough for MSI, can't it be good enough for you?
If you're Wonder, you can play it.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, if you were on the best team in the world right now, I think it's on. Oh, hey, we're back. Let's move on to jungle, shall we?
Of course, jungle, the next role, one of the, actually, it's probably one of the strongest roles at the moment, jungle.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
A lot of S tier champions.
A lot of S tier and a lot of versatility out of the jungle, which is not really coming up right now, but we can just list some of the names, the usual suspects at the top right now. Oh, there it is. Now it's down below. All right. But yeah, Karthus, obviously S tier just because of his power farm and damage is ridiculous. Hecarim's ability to take over a game. You have Amumu for being super strong at the moment, plus an easy kit. Definitely all S tiers. And down at the bottom, this is an interesting one. I'm seeing Shaco, and I'm sure there's a player today who might be a little disappointed in that.
I mean, I don't like Shaco.
Yeah, well, neither.
But I don't know, Shaco got hit really hard with the nerfs. He's like more of a champion who likes to farm and invade. And the way the jungle is at the moment, it's very hard to clear, which is why you see Karthus is so strong. Evelyn's really strong as well, and Kha'Zix. All these kind of junglers that want to farm to level 6 and just take over a game that way. Kane's quite strong as well, but just doesn't have that same ganking potential early as, you know, Karthus and Evelyn, or Karthus don't have ganking potential, but he's just beast champion. Pretty much. Presses iron jungle, kills everybody. But yeah, so the jungle is a lot more about hard farming meta. Yi got a really nice buff as well that puts him up. So like it's just those. So if you really want to get into solo queue and climb, Master Yi, Karthus if you feel mechanically up to it. Kane's really good. Amumu's obviously great, and Vi's not bad as well if you just want to look down solo targets. Obviously, if you feel like a bit of a challenge, learning Kha'Zix Evelyn's very useful. But they are very hard champions to play and execute correctly, similar to the Rek'Sai. But you know, Kha'Zix is always a champion that's just strong, especially in low elo with his assassins. Man, they're always strong.
Yeah, I mean, you know, isolation damage is huge right now, and that's also one of the reasons why I believe Yi has climbed up from lower to a lot higher. With his buffs, and that isolation damage is quite strong. I actually do suspect Yi has the potential to keep climbing if people can use it correctly, but at the moment, he's still sitting at that A tier.
I mean, he just has this so linear playstyle that it's kind of hard to get past S tier and past A tier unless he gets a really strong item. The Rage Blade nerfs hurt him as well, but he did get those individual buffs as well. Obviously, talking about that Q multiplication damage is really strong for him as well.
Yeah. So move on.
Move on to the next tier down.
Mid lane.
My lane, of course.
I see a name up there in S tier that I really wish was not in S tier right now.
Yeah, so I mean, Ahri with the Glacial Augment build that's come out is super strong. I'd highly recommend you pick Ahri up. Really easy to get climb with that. I think Malzahar is super strong to climb with as well. Very easy to play champion, and it can just win your team. If it's in any team comp in solo queue with his ultimate, it's so versatile. Does a lot of damage in team fights as well with his Maleficent Visions. Yep. Spreading that around. Talon's really strong at roaming and also has that high burst potential. A couple other champions that are pretty good as well, but are only really strong in high elo solo queue or pro player, like Zoe, Ryze, and Talia. They're all super strong, and of course Aurelia and Akali. But if you're not, you know, ranked higher than Plat, I wouldn't really recommend playing any of these champions because you probably don't have the hands.
Where would you be going with this one?
I don't know. I'm kind of really surprised. Like, I don't know about your guys' elo, but down in solo elo hell, the Lux at the bottom.
I don't like Lux.
Okay.
That's why she's dead. She's actually not. She's probably like a B tier champion, but I just don't like her.
But also the Lissandra, after being so strong in the World season in past patches, all the way at the bottom, do you think now?
Her mana nerf's really, really big, so she has like no lane priority whatsoever, and she doesn't have that same utility to solo carry a team like, what's another champion that struggles with mana? Like, for example, like Kassadin, for example, has super late game, or Kayle has a really good late game phase. Because Lissandra doesn't have that ability to solo carry a game and kind of falls off after 2 items, she can't get you a big enough lead in the early game to really warrant being played at all in solo queue. She was strong, she's just not anymore. She's just not there at all.
I want to know what happened in your solo queue games to even have a Wukong in general on the mid list.
Wukong doesn't get played, and I don't know where to put him, so I just put him mid in jungle. And
okay, I just had to find space. Yeah, all right, just throw the monkey in mid. Hope for the best.
I mean, Wukong's actually not terrible, but there's just better champions.
I feel like
play Talon or Zed.
I'm not disagreeing that he's D. I'm just thinking that D should be in top maybe instead of mid. I don't know.
He's in the top. I think he was in D tier in top lane as well.
Okay, so he gets to go everywhere. Actually, that makes him the most versatile champion.
Well, I mean, I'd argue Yasuo is most versatile at the moment. Or Teemo. Teemo plays a lot else.
What about, actually, if we're taking seriously who's the most versatile, I would say probably Jax.
I'd say Neeko, actually.
Yeah, that's a good one.
She can play every single role. Every single lane.
Especially AD carry. Unfortunately, Neeko's... Yeah, there she is on the list, B tier.
On the list.
Yeah, every role you can throw a Neeko in there.
I mean, AD carry is interesting because like the champions aren't all super strong. I mean, it's kind of, that AD carries a role is kind of hard because each champion is strong in different roles. So Lucian, S tier and solo queue, not that great in pro play, but like B tier and pro play. Stuff like Varus, S tier and pro play, solo queue, not so good. Draven really good in solo queue, pro play not as good. All these champions kind of float around as they play in different tiers. Like Vayne is not that great in pro play either because of the design of the champion. But pretty much your best AD carry at the moment is probably Kai'Sa to pick. She's got a really good, decent early game, very strong late game. Ezreal as well. If you're mechanically proud on him, he's a really good pick. If not, he's more like an A tier pick. If you're just trying to pick him up and learning, Ezreal is definitely one of those champions you need to work more on.
Yep.
But overall, like AD carries kind of pretty much copy and paste. Most of the champions are the same, like Jinx, Sivir, Trist. Not much difference there. They're all pretty similar. Get your crit items, go kill things, survive lane phase. That's pretty much it.
What I have to ask though is, as a support player, which of those AD carries do you not want to run? Like, which one do you consider the S tier to support, and which one is the D tier to support? Like, who do you hate seeing locked in? Who do you love seeing locked in?
Just because of the damage, I hate having to verse a Varus. But when it comes to who I'm supporting, unfortunately, you get quite a few Tristanas or Kallistas who don't quite know how to use their kit, and you're just sitting back there like, what are you doing? Please stop.
Yep.
But really good ones to support. Even though it was at the bottom, you can never go wrong with supporting a Jhin.
Yep.
It's just easy, it's simple, the range makes your life woof.
Yep.
But and Callista as well. Once again, you've got that range and the.
And her ultimate helps you.
Yeah.
Her ultimate helps you immensely as well.
Well, helps or hinders you.
Yeah.
When I play Callista, it's usually hinder.
Oh. Well,
I don't play Callista.
Speaking of supports, though, we have our support list right now. This is an interesting one. I mean, Nautilus, I 100% agree, top of the list right now.
The best support in the game.
He's ridiculous in where he is at the moment. I like seeing Braum up there. I think Rakan is making a good argument lately for that S tier. But I see Galio, and it makes me like, he needs the team. He needs that team around him.
Yeah, he does. But Galio is super strong if he's not playing against Nautilus. Nautilus and Galio, not a good combination.
No.
But that's why you see Galio perform so poorly in MSI, because usually he's landing as a Nautilus, and Nautilus completely shuts down Galio because he's able to hook when Galio's slowed charging up the shield of Duran, and then he just gets stunned in there, and then he can't really do anything because his aftershock wears off, Nautilus gets his aftershock, and then he just loses trades over and over again. But yeah, no, so the melee support's really strong as well, just because of the way Lucian works as well. Lucian's super strong in solo queue, so naturally the melee supports that synergize well with him are going to be strong, which is one of the reasons why Lucian is S tier, because Galio, Braum, and Nautilus are all really good with Lucian. Another champion I would put on here, I would put Yuumi. I couldn't find the icon for Yuumi yet, because you don't put him on tier list until afterwards, but at the moment she's like S tier. She's so strong.
Really?
But she's incredibly mechanically hard to play. So you actually have to know how to play the role or how to play the champion.
I mean, her kit is pretty well and true, but when it comes to team fights, that's where her potential just kind of dies off. So would you really? Yeah, I mean, the ADC dies that you're connected to, and then you kind of die.
Well, so usually with Yuumi, people have been running double combat summoners, so healer gun, something like that.
No flash.
It's much better to wear something like flash because once the AD carry dies, if you have no mobility skills, you kind of go down with the shift. But I think Yuumi is one of the strongest team fighting champions because you press your R and you should just hop around. So you press R, hop into the front line, hop back, and then the ability to move around and use your R correctly, that's where the real skill comes for Yuumis. And in the team fights, if you're a really good Yuumi, you will carry your team fight 100% of the time.
That said, it is getting close to pick and ban times right now, so I'm curious to see if either of these two teams were actually listening into what we thought of these tier lists, and they will apply them. First up, on the blue side, will be Merrimac Sparkle Squad. In the top lane, it's AC1002. Kled will be rounding in the jungle. Jayceph Stalin in the mid lane. Cheeky one there. CritterMiester on the AD carry position, and WonderlandZERO on support.
And their opponents on the red side today from SPS, or St. Paul's School, we got Mirk in the top side, Stvn C in the jungle, LJP26 in the mid, JacksProject in the bot, and Plëb playing the support role today.
Yeah, so once again, we kind of mentioned it before. It's the 6th seed currently taking on the 3rd seed, 6 on the blue side, 3rd on the red side. So a little bit of that solo queue where generally the higher ranked team somehow winds up on the red side.
Yeah.
That's what it is to be. That's going to be the case going into this one. I'm very interesting to see this pick and bans because there's a lot of spicy one tricks.
Yeah, there are a lot of one tricks, and so it's about allocating where do you want to ban your one tricks. You know, do you want to get that bronze 3 player on something he's never played before versus something he's super comfortable on, or do you want to take that plat player out and take 3 of his really good champions out and see where you go from there? It's really going to depend what strategy they go for and how well you can play around that.
As we are moving into picks and bans right now, Merrimac will be starting off banning, and they're going to take away the Nasus straight away. Which is, I think that's definitely a targeted ban and not, you know, a meta priority ban.
Yeah, no, Nasus C tier, obviously not the best champion ever. One of the champions that, you know, if he gets strong, gets to take over a game is really nice, and Khan is one of the, you know, specialists when it comes to playing that champion really well. You see Rammus and Zoe, of course, being banned out as well. Zoe super strong at the moment. Rammus, really good in team fights. I think Amumu is probably better than Rammus band, to be honest, and I'm pretty sure Cud plays a lot more Amumu, no?
He does play both, so I'm curious to see if they're either trying to force Cud on that Amumu, or if they were going to see that be the third ban. Jace was the next ban right now, and Hecarim, very smart ban right there, super strong jungler. I mean, we saw it before, he was S tier, he's S tier for a reason. Now these bans are coming out rapid fire. Swain, the next one gone.
Yeah, Swain is one of AC 1002's 2 champions, right? He plays Swain and Garen. I think another champion to mention is Jace, just got banned up as well. I think their mid lane is a Jace one trick.
Yes.
The Jace in the name. Jace is a pretty strong champion as well if you can play him proficiently.
Kled.
I do like that.
Kled. Kled was AC's third champion. Not quite as much gameplay, I guess, he does on the Garen, but Kled is one that he does like, so I'm not too surprised to see that. I do feel Kled has a bit more potential in an organized team composition than a Garen would. Sion, though, taken in response, that is always a safe pick.
Yeah, Sion up at the top side, always easy to play, very simple champion to execute on. There's not much you can go wrong there. You sit there, you farm, you get your health, you take over the rest of the game, and Jarvan locked in for Stvn C.
There's the Jarvan, and now, of course, there's Amumu. As we were talking about, there's the hover. You take away the Rammus, you leave up Cud's Amumu, which is arguably the stronger champion right now, so I might be a little bit of a misstep coming out of Legacy. Good pickup for the Sparkle squad, as we're seeing that Neeko hover. I like what they're putting together right now on the blue side.
It's a very simple team fight comp. You use the Kled to run in, Amumu runs in, Amumu presses R, Neeko presses I, everyone else does.
Yeah.
Very simple, I like it. A little bit magic damage heavy, but hopefully the 80 carry will end it up. I think something like a Civil would work really well here. Or if you're really feeling it, the Kai'Sa would be perfect with this composition.
Yeah, I think a Kai'Sa would be super strong.
Just because you get the plasma stack on everybody and then you can just R in, press Q, everyone dies.
I also wouldn't mind an Ezreal as well, or even a Draven, something with just that sweeping ultimate that can just run through everyone. Orianna being locked in, though, for LJP. A very, again, safe pick, very team-fighting front. It looks as if Legacy is going for something a bit more conventional when you look at a front-to-back team fight, so I expect a hyper carry, AD carry to come
Ball
up soon.
delivery on the Jarvan pretty much, so I think you know they are shaping up for something like a Jinx or a Tristana here. On the side of the SPS.
Or a Varus. I reckon a Varus Galio, or even if they can still get that Kai'Sa Galio as well, Jinx is banned away.
Jinx is of course taken away, yeah. I don't know what Jack, I don't really look at too much at Jack as, he's a Vayne one trick, wasn't he? Vayne and Kai'Sa were his 2 most played, I think, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean...
I would like to see CritterMiester on Kai'Sa. I think Kai'Sa fits really, really well with their comp.
Yeah, Jayceph seems to fit well. I feel with both compositions right now, just because of how strong Kai'Sa is. We will not be seeing Vayne. Actually, that is going to be taken away. As you were saying, it might be his one trick. Well, unfortunately, he's going to have to branch out a little bit. Last ban about to come through. I really want to see that Galio ban just because the Jarvan-Galio combo is still available for St. Paul's. But no, they're going to go after the Soraka, which is a bit of a pleb one trick as well. So a lot of these one tricks we mentioned are being taken away. Kai'Sa insta-lock-in.
I like that pick. Takes it away from CritterMiester. Strong champion as well. Kai'Sa's obviously, we talked about it earlier on the broadcast, one of the strongest AD carries at the moment because she's just so versatile. Has decent lane phase, really good team fight in the mid and late game stage, spikes off 2 items, everything you need to do. I do like Tristana as well coming out of CritterMiester. Yeah,
Tristana, I mean, I think you probably like it a little bit more than me. I would have preferred, I believe, an Ezreal in this situation, but I want to see what they're taking support before I really hone in on that. A Nautilus in this team composition, and I feel like their team fight is actually near unstoppable.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Nautilus, even a Leona.
Coming together.
Even a Leona.
Yeah, Leona would actually be much nicer, just because you've got these big AoE ultimates and allows Neeko and Amumu and potentially Leona or whatever it is to come in and do that damage, and then Tristana can come in with Rocket Jump, take some easy kills and hop in and out, jump all around the team fight, and the flash means pretty much nothing. Oh.
Janna, all right, I kind of can see it. I mean, it's a bit more peel, something perhaps if they feel the Rocket Jump from CritterMiester might not be enough, and when you're looking at the amount of dive coming out of Legacy, it's sort of a bit of a safety net.
Galio, he would be nuts. Galio's perfect pick here.
Yeah, Galio definitely.
Even over the Nautilus, I'd rather take the Galio, just because, especially into a Janna lane, basically looking in Janna means you can pick what, if you don't pick a hard engage pick like the Thresh, for example, it means you're going to do absolutely nothing in lane. So I think from here, SPS have got winning bot lane, winning mid matchup, winning jungle matchup early, and in the top side, I think they win that as well, just because I don't think Kled are going to ever have enough damage to kill the Sion.
Yeah, St. Paul's Legacy looks like, dare I say, a professional team composition right now.
Yeah.
It just comes together so easily. Yeah, maybe a couple picks might not be ideal, like the Thresh maybe could have been that Nautilus, but comfort. Play what you know, play what you're comfortable on, and if you have a comfort pick that fits in that team composition, something like that Thresh, I think that's fantastic. And I mean, a death sentence, you still get in there.
Yeah, I mean, if you land death sentence on this Janna, Janna's dead.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, completely dead. Not much you can do. You jump in, get the Ignite on, Kai'Sa follows up. Janna, not enough HP to survive, not enough shielding. She'll fall down pretty quickly. Obviously, Tristana has Rocket Jump to get away, but, you know, if she uses it on cooldown, you can let her hook after that. It's going to be very difficult for this bot lane, especially for GGPR to, you know, get away from this. So I think if SPS can really look to play towards this bot lane, which looks like the Kai'Sa is going to be their solo carry, they can get ahead in this lane, they very easily take over the bot lane and then just win the map from there.
That said, though, what Sparkle Squad has to do, well, yeah, SPS looking at the bot side, Sparkle Squad,
Ooh.
I want them to be looking at the top side, actually. I want them to play around AC1002. On solo queue paper, he is their strongest player.
Yeah.
And he is playing Kled, who is someone you can definitely play around, especially into a Sion. He should be able to dominate that lane.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned before when the picks were coming through, the teamfight initiation out of the Sparkle Squad, when you have Curse of the Sad Mummy, when you have the Pop Blossom, that amount of lockdown plus the pure damage, especially if Jayceph is going hard AP, as opposed to the on-hit Neeko, which I'm hoping it's the AP Neeko. I don't think on-hit Neeko.
Yeah, the GOP Neeko is really strong. They should all win Neeko.
Exactly. So I'm thinking that's what they're going to be going for. So they're more likely to be playing around the top side of the match, which could lead to an interesting dichotomy in this game where one side's focusing bot side, one side's focusing top side, and then we wait till that 20-25 minute mark when they smash into each other for those Barons, for those late Dragons, and that's when this game is going to get good.
I think especially because Kled took Ignite right up on the top side. There's no TP up there for Merrimac. So I think like they have to play around this Kled. They have to use the Ignite effectively to get a lead, or else the Summoner's kind of useless. Because once it comes in the mid game, the TP is going to be much more useful for those 5-man plays. Even though Kled does his ult to get across, you'd rather not use that ult to, you know, run from one side to the other. You'd rather use it to use and engage and help get the Amumu or Neeko in without having to, you know, burn cooldowns.
Okay,
like Flash.
This is a small nitpick, very small, very pointless nitpick, but it's something that I feel very much I need to bring out. How much can you play around a Kled that's not even repping the same clan as you? Everyone on the Sparkle Squad is all GGPR. I don't know what it stands for, but then you have iGhost on the Kled. That tells me that it might not be on the same page, and I might have to bring into question how much team unity is there, because if you're...
I did hear you're not allowed in the same Discord server if you don't have the same clan tag, so that could be a big issue for Merrimac. It might be no communication up on the top side. Might be left on an island. But he's taking this Ignite plan full solo queue, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's that Plat mindset, right? You just gotta, I have to put the team on my back, I have to carry, and it fits with Kled. So wait, Hashinshin, the Hashinshin special. He plays Kled.
Hashinshin's a Diamond 4 player, please.
Well, he used to be Plat.
He should still be Plat, let's be real.
Yeah, exactly.
He's very lucky to be in Diamond.
It's the
motion protection treats the Shinshin very, very well.
No, I mean, obviously we jest with that right now, but I definitely do expect to see that solo queue playstyle coming out of AC1002. It's something that is a byproduct of scouting out your opponents, realizing, hey, I might be the better mechanical player based on solo queue results. I am playing this dueling top laner. I am going to go Ignite. I am going to win lane. I am going to put this team on my back, and we are going to carry past the possibility of a Fed as, like, heck, Kai'Sa on the SPS team.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be difficult to see. If the Kai'Sa can get in these team fights, they can execute quick with the Ori Jarvan, I think it's going to be very difficult for SPS to kind of not win these big team fights. But, you know, if the Tristana can stay even with the Kai'Sa, if Tristana can kind of get ahead and work that way, I think then it's going to be very difficult for SPS to really get anything against this better team fight, I think, and better scaling team fight of the Neeko Amumu.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, as well as the backline dive potential coming out of the Sparkle Squad as well with the Neeko and the Amumu. If Kai'Sa is out of position just once, it will only take one. She gets popped, she's out of the fight. That's kind of it for Legacy. They really need that Kai'Sa to stay alive. So a lot of protection is going to have to be put on there. Almost why I'd almost like the Thresh, I guess, is, as opposed to the Nautilus. I can see some benefit in that because you have that Lantern, you have that bit more survivability. I still would have preferred the Nautilus, I feel like, because go all in with this fight team composition, or the Galio, rather, sorry.
Yeah, because Galio, of course, has that ability to follow up on the Jarvan. Jarvan Galio, a classic combo. Absolutely amazing. And now, getting into game to the team's load. Oh, what is that?
It's the Sparkles of the Sparkle Squad.
That's incredible.
The Rainbow Sparkle Squad.
Since when was that a thing?
I have no idea, but that's amazing.
What? Why can't I
Legacy doesn't get that.
Where's it my solo queue? What?
It's the
Wait, since when was that a thing?
I don't know. I honestly do not know. I'm sure.
wait, what?
I'm sure chat's probably screaming at us about that we may have missed something. Meanwhile, Legacy is sort of moving as a group right now. They have all standing on that ward on the bot side of the map, which means this should be easy for the Sparkle Squad to sort of set up a perhaps counter invade. They only saw 4 though, so they do not know where Mirk is. But no, they're not going to look for the deep wards. Actually, they're rotating to possibly contest them. Legacy doing the smart thing, walking out.
Bit of a wasted ward there from CritterMiester. They're using it to kind of scout out the invade. Even they already know they were coming. All they did was just back off, wait for them in the brush, and they just counter them. And you've got another ward there on the red buff as well. So all 3 wards early on from Merrimac don't look too promising. What you're going to do now that the meta's changed is get a deep ward on the enemy Raptors at about 1-5 because every jungler now passed through Raptors, so being able to see them and scout a path, check the CS when they get to Raptors, allows you to know which path they're going for and where they're going to path to.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Legacy actually didn't place that deep ward. They moved in as 4, they went in super deep, they didn't place any wards, and then they walked right back out.
And alternatively as well, Merrimac didn't use the opportunity for seeing all 4 members on the bot side to walk into the top side and get that ward. And instead they've used 3 wards there around the red buff, the Krugs, and then that Tri-Brush ward. The Tri-Brush ward's the only one that's really kind of useful, but even then the junglers don't gank until about 3:15, 3:30.
Yeah, unless there's something very peculiar going on. A bit of trading action happening right now in the top side as well as in mid. So pretty standard start, like nothing too crazy, at least just yet. Actually, Mirk is in a bit of trouble. It's already had to use his health bot, and this is that aggression we expected to see out of AC1002, forcing already Mirk to start playing a bit more defensively.
Yeah, and he should know that the Kled has the early trading potential, especially with level 2, he can level
up.
Oh,
Plëb's going in quite aggressive right now. Has to be a little bit careful. As in the mid lane, a heavy trade happening as well. Finally, damage being thrown right back around onto Jack, who gets quite low. The explosive charge does a bit of damage, but not enough. Sorry. Yep, whatever. Point is, trades go down. Low health across the board. It is explosive charge. Yep, that was right.
Yeah.
That was
I think it could be potentially Mirk up on the top side looking really bad. The Stalin, all he wants to do in this lane is just sit back, wait for this wave to push him.
Ooh.
See Neeko getting more poked down on this Orianna.
Yeah, Tangle Barbs, lock him in place for that serious Q damage. Again though, Wonderland's being careful as the Death Sentence does connect. Here comes that damage, but they're trying to turn it right back around to Jack. Rocket Jump adding a bit more. That may be a dead Kai'Sa. Nope, everyone stays low, but the flash for the first blood. Plëb securing it for SPS, and now Wonderland has to be careful right now. Very low health, but they're not willing to risk that re-engage.
If only Kai'Sa didn't flash away there. She was fine. She wouldn't have died there to the Tristana. Oh, and unfortunately Thresh has a flash and the kill goes over to the AD carry. I mean the support, not the AD carry.
Yeah, that was a very, very good trade going into SPS's advantage. This is what they want. They want to play around that bot side. And if they can start getting kills without the help of the jungler as well, that could actually open up Jarvan to start looking more mid and top and perhaps provide support for Mirk on that Sion.
I mean, I think it's well interesting to see Neeko in the mid lane with Electrocute versus the Orianna, of course, taking normal runes. But usually you want to take the Glacial Augment on that Neeko. You kind of
here we go. Mid lane gank happening right now. No! Jarvan going for the wrong one. A bit of a misplay by Sven as Jayceph is looking to turn it back around right now. JLP has to be a bit careful. No summoners burned just yet, so in the end they'll walk away, but no health and no mana on that Orianna. I'm looking at this mini-map. Where is Amumu? He's running through the jungle. He's nowhere near.
He's in the jungle. He's clearing camps.
Yeah, that could have been an opportunity for Cud. Unfortunately, he wasn't there. Still standing 2 people in that mid lane. I think right now Jayceph is sort of loving this attention because he'll be getting a lot of experience and he's still able to farm.
Yeah, I mean, Jayceph, that's really good locking up. Obviously, Jarvan has to stay there and help the Orianna pushing because he's way too low to push him by themselves versus this Neeko. Just mount though on the Kled, which means he'll be much weaker in these trades.
Yeah, Skarl sent to the hills. However, Mirk also has no mana, low health, so I can't imagine him capitalizing at without that jungle help. But unfortunately, Sven spent too much time in the mid lane. He had to recall, so really I feel this is a top lane still going in Merrimac's favor, but not as much as I would have liked to see. Mirk actually doing a pretty good job maintaining an even CS through the first 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the biggest CS differentials here in the bot lane. This Kai'Sa, obviously 3 at the moment, but she's got a huge wave to collect now under the tower. But this Tristana especially is, quite a bit behind. And, I mean, the Kai'Sa, the Tristana is a little bit behind, obviously going down early in this first spot. And this Kai'Sa, if she gets As I said, that's the biggest thing for SPS. If they can get ahead in this bot lane, it's going to be their biggest win condition. If they can't, it's going to be a bigger struggle. Purely just because the Neeko and Amumu are a stronger team fight late game than the Jarvan Orianna combo that is rocking on St. Paul's side.
That said, it's actually kind of interesting to see how CritterMiester and Wonderland right now are pushing in the bot lane of SPS. I feel like they're leaving themselves susceptible to a gank. Fortunately, though, once again, Stvn seems to be on the top side of the map, not on the bot side of the map, so he's a bit on the wrong side for them. And that's really good, I suppose, for Merrimac because they're able to step up and actually play that aggressively. But as these waves are kind of crashing, it does look like Legacy is going to be able to push it back.
Yeah, of course, Merrimac, they're abusing their double range advantage into the more melee. I mean, even though Thresh is technically ranged, he's more of a melee character, right? But yeah, no, of course, they're going to try use this leverage and maybe look for a engage.
Well, here we go. Pleb's actually stepping forward right now. Gets the double flay. The death sentence is still available. Not going to be used as a rocket jump is used defensively.
Here, minion with the death sentence. Right in front, and it's the classic the Thresh. I'm standing on the other side of the caster minion, but the cast is just a little bit behind you. And in fact, hit the minion there. So unfortunately, that would have definitely been a kill if you could let that to the Janna, but
yeah, that's
a miss.
Tangle Barb's missing as well. Let's just take a look at the big picture of this game and what this first sort of 6.5 minutes has told us about these teams. I feel as if Sparkle Squad, Cud, he's waiting for level 6 before he starts to make those plays. He's definitely sitting back. He's trying to power farm and get there. I would have liked to see Stvn kind of take more opportunities. Stvn, I should say. I'm trying to pronounce it without the E. I'm just going to call him Stvn. That's obviously what it's meant to be. I would have liked to see him actually try and put more pressure on other lanes besides mid lane, where he's kind of been camping to no actual effect. As once again, Plëb stepping forward. Wonderland's in a lot of trouble, going in way too deep. The damage thrown down there, a heal is used, and it's actually Plëb who nearly goes down a rocket jump defensively as the junglers run into each other at that red buff. They went to Stvn. He got the Cataclysm down, forcing out the flash.
Yeah, unfortunately that Orianna could not move down and help the mid laner there. Sorry, for the jungler there fighting. Good invade by Jarvan, knowing where the Amumu was. Also knowing that he was upper level and has more damage than will take these fights early on. Amumu still waiting to get his level 6 power spike. I know once he finishes off this Cinderhulk, they'll be a much stronger champion. Yeah,
it's interesting to see though. Stvn was able to successfully steal that red buff, and it just shows the more aggressive plays coming out of Legacy right now, whereas the Sparkle Squad are playing much more reserved. Every offensive play thus far in this game has come from the red side. Shockwave going down onto Jayceph. Very low health on that Neeko. Should be able to get away. As this is happening though, a Cloud Drake is secured by Legacy.
Yeah, that's the advantage of that Jarvan invade earlier, knowing where the Amumu was, knowing he was low health. Of course, bot lane as well getting pressure in that lane. Kai'Sa so good at soloing these neutral objectives with that plasma damage, doing percent HP, just shredding through Baron and Dragon, of course. And yeah, not giving the mid laner, not giving the Orianna blue buff. Not a fan of that as a mid laner myself, but hey.
Oh, here comes Kled. Ultimate being used, but there's really no follow-up damage, so he's going to go for that tower dive. Unfortunately for him, Stvn is there, so AC in a lot of trouble, has to flash out defensively. No more follow-up damage. Very aggressive play. Here comes Sion. Unstoppable onslaught makes connection onto this Amumu, and Cud will go down. Stvn getting his team's second kill.
Oof, good global ultimate, good awareness to know that he can roam there from the Kled. Unfortunately, Jarvan was there to counter gank, couldn't get anything. Did get both of Ori summoners though, so that's an opportunity that maybe Jayceph can capitalize now with the flash RW that you can pull off on the Neeko. But the Amumu unfortunately just standing there in the middle of the lane. Sion as well with that similar ultimate to the Kled. Press R, run it down, right? Yep. Hits the Amumu, stunned up, easy kill for Jarvan to pick up there.
Another death sentencing going just a bit low right there after CritterMiester. I'm curious what this next dragon will actually be right now, because I feel like the way how this game is going, it's definitely going to be for the red side, so I believe St. Paul's Legacy will get it. Action in the mid lane, Pop Blossom has been used. That is definitely a kill. Ignite helping secure it. Jayceph gets his team on the board.
Of course, there are no summoners on the Orianna. Once you land that route, you just walk up, press R on the Neeko with the W movement speed buff. Nothing she can do if she's got no flash, got no barrier, goes down easy as you like.
Oh, Cataclysm! Actually, Jayceph's in a lot of trouble right now. Stvn trying to get those autos down, has to flash away. If he had bought a little bit more time, maybe Cud would have been there actually. So Stvn in a bit of trouble, is able to get out.
I mean, I think this is the story of the game here for Merrimac. I mean, we've just been a little bit behind this Jarvan the entire time. Just like half a step behind him and just been around the area every time the Jarvan's there, but not close enough to really capitalize on it. And I think that's the story of this game, in fact, for Merrimac. They've just been a little bit off the ball, and if they had a little bit more tempo control, a little bit more pressure, then they'd be putting FPS really through the grinder.
I have to agree. I kind of wish I saw the start of that mid lane exchange that gave Jayceph the kill, because I have a sinking suspicion that it was actually LJP that started, as we're seeing a bit of a gank coming on the top side.
No, I think it was just Neeko just landed a root and then just
Okay, so you think it was Jayceph who was the initiator?
Yeah, I think Jayceph was just throwing E-poke through the root, hit the Orianna, walked up, pressed R. That's I don't know. That's generally how you go with kills on Neeko, especially early on once you don't have the extra movement speed to get in range you are.
If that is the case, that would be the first offensive play that the Sparkle Squad has made this entire game, and it worked out for them.
Yeah.
So
I'd like the tower dive by Kled.
True. Well, it's the first one that worked for them. The counter
the first one they executed correctly.
Yeah, the tower dive unfortunately kind of came from out of nowhere, and there really wasn't much follow-up. The point I'm trying to make, though, is I feel like so far this game, the team that has been the aggressor has been the one who has been coming out on top. As we're seeing AC go aggressive against Mirk right now, has to back away, concede some farm. This game is definitely being more beneficial for the person who plays aggressive. Seeing it again in mid lane. The Shockwave's going to throw the Neeko right back into it. Jayceph's quite low, but not enough damage yet. One more auto would have done it.
Unfortunately, Jayceph going in, but had no cooldowns ready to follow up on that ultimate. Could have potentially killed the Orianna there, but because there's no there's no Q or E available for her since she missed them both before, there was no chance she was going in. It was a good window by the Orianna to actually go in.
Oh, I thought that sentence was going to hit. CritterMiester definitely dodging that one. With both junglers there, that could have been a fight. Unfortunately, not just yet. Cud still possibly looking for that opening. I'm not sure he's going to find it.
No, unfortunately not. Cud, just a little bit behind, just not able to get these precise wins. And actually interesting that the Sion's been taking the power play. The top lane's really the only lane that seems to be going, really well for Merrimac here. The Kled obviously.
That said, a bit of action happening in the bot side right now. JacksProject is going in super deep. CritterMiester has to burn flash and heal, trying to get away. One last Void Seeker will get the kill, and the Death Sentence connects. This will be a double kill for JacksProject in the top lane as well. Flash and Ignite have been dropped. Cud arrives way too late on the bot side, and no one else will die.
And there we go, the top lane just escaping as well, so that's a huge win there for SPS. SPS, unfortunately, not being able to do both, right? SPS, lost the top side hub, but we've done what we talked to going into this game, right? We said, let's work towards this bot side, let's get this Kaiser ahead, that's our win condition. And we identified earlier that getting the Kled ahead was in fact, but Cud's still down here in the bot side trying to protect this lane.
Yeah, Death Sentence gets connected, Cataclysm follow-up, and yet another kill going for JacksProject. I have to question what the Sparkle Squad's map priority is right now. I haven't seen Cud go top lane once so far. Meanwhile, Act 1002 on his way there, already completed Mana Moon right now for JacksProject.
It's a new Mana Moon on Kaiser.
It's a new build.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's the new build from the past week, actually.
Right. Well, then we get that's something I have.
Oh, here we go. Oh, CritterMiester just unable to stop the recalls. Unfortunately not. I've just seen it a couple times. I've been seeing it more and more. A friend of mine actually tried it in a solo queue game. Not a solo queue game, I'm sorry. Just a normal game last night. Got halfway through it and then gave up on it.
All right, sounds good.
But it has been the newer thing right now.
Right, so I got some homework to do then.
Yeah, it definitely.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wish I could. It's the new tier Kai'Sa.
Right. Okay. The Kai'Sa, especially in the bot side, you can see there's evidence of these fights. They just keep winning super hard because there's so much CC, especially from the Thresh once he lands a hook, right? He's able to just follow up so heavily with the Kai'Sa R plus the plasma stacks, and it means it's so much harder for them to get out, and his percent HP damage is coming down so quickly. Yeah. As our AC 1002 actually is finally taking a disadvantage trade right there, so pretty good for Mirk. As we are at 13.5 minutes right now, we're already looking at a 4K gold lead, however, and finally Cud has moved to the top side of the map, looking at the mini-map, but it's not going to be able to find anything on the bot side as well. Once again, Plëb stepping forward, gets hit by the tornado. Death Sentence still available, not going to pull the trigger this time around. What I am very worried about, though, is the fact that Sparkle Squad seems to have no map priority for any of these dragons so far, and already it does look as if Legacy is starting another one. Of course, it's a Cloud Drake. The Clown Drake, of course, once again, two Cloud Drakes will be very speedy boys around this map, which is actually good for him, right? Yeah. Since now, what Merrimac are going to try to do, the only way to really win this game, since they're really far behind on the 80 carry department, is to get this Kled in the side lane, which is very obviously potent on the split, right? But having that Cloud Drake means I'll be able to rotate quicker to that side lane and shut him down before he can really get too much damage on the tower. Well, even right now, I think because AC 1002 hasn't had that much help, he's actually starting to lose a lot of these trades because of Mirk's Sunfire Cape. So even Merrimac's win condition is starting to be put in question right now. Not a good situation for the blue side of the map. Yeah, I think especially because this Kled is like falling further and further behind because there's no jungle assistance, right? This was always going to happen in this matchup. The Sion was always going to outscale the Kled purely just because he builds tank items and then you can't shred him as hard, especially since because Kled's got the early game rune of press the attack.
Ultimate use. Kled's actually in a lot of trouble. Skull does make the return and Mirk is actually caught by the bear trap. A couple of autos will do it. He should be going down. Meanwhile, on the bot side of the map, we only see the names come up, but once again, another kill going to JacksProject. It was able to bring down Wonderland.
Yeah, of course. I'd love to see what's going on down on the bot side, but another fight breaking out here in the mid lane.
Oh, here we go. A Curse of the Sad Mummy coming down, but I'm not sure the damage is there. Plëb might actually be able to walk away. Rocket drop forward is CritterMiester, forces out the flash. Death Sentence connects. Meanwhile, JacksProject joining after that back line. One more auto will bring down this Tristana. He's kind of playing with his food. There's the Void Seeker. There's the kill. Another Death Sentence connects. 2 more kills going to JacksProject. 6-0 on the game.
Plëb has been on fire in this bot lane. I don't think I've seen missing their sentence yet this game. I mean, he's thrown a couple into minions, but that still counts as hits, right?
Yeah.
Like, so he's been on point. Like, in these crucial moments, in these crucial fights, he's been hitting the death sentence on those targets, catching the Janna as she flashes away, catching the Amumu there as he goes in, and finally there as well, catching the Amumu, a max range hook just as he was about to escape. And
down will go. The bot side tower is the first tower going down this game. As you were talking, I was getting a little bit worried. Jayceph was flirting with death right there with LJP just because that shockwave was available, is not used. 2 Cloud Drakes, 1 tower, and nearly 6k, actually just a bit more than 6k gold lead right now for Legacy. This game is well and truly in their control.
At 16 minutes, 6-0 on a Kai'Sa, this is exactly what you don't want to see in your solo queue games. This is one of the scariest things you can face off. You know, especially if you're in this top lane or in the mid lane, you're like 1-0, you're like, oh, my lane's going fine. You look bot and it's like, oh shit, there's 0-5, 0-8. What am I going to do with the rest of this game? This is a fat go next, boys.
Look at the items right now. That really tells the story when you look at this bot lane. CritterMiester doesn't have a completed item yet unless you count Boots as one. Meanwhile, you have Ginsu's and the Manamune coming out of JacksProject. There is no team fight at all whatsoever that the Sparkle Squad can win unless they get some sort of like crazy pick and like Legacy just, I don't know, focus the wrong target and let Stalin get like the 5-man pop blossom. This is Legacy's game to lose and we're only 17 minutes in.
I mean, there is still hope, right, for Merrimac State High School. Amumu's ultimate is huge in these team fights, and the Kled is still really, really strong, right? Ooh. If they can lock down this Kai'Sa early on, she's the only fed member. Everyone else is about even or slightly behind, right? So as long as they can lock down this Kai'Sa, get her killed, that's a big bounty that can go over to one of these carries.
AC is in a bit of trouble, actually. The entire the team is there. The shockwave comes out. It forces out the flash, but he's so low. Stvn just has to step up. No, it's the snipe from JacksProject. Meanwhile, on the bot side, CritterMiester jumping in aggressively after a Sion. That was a bit of a big play right there, as the Rift Herald should go to Legacy.
I really like this macro rotation as well from St. Paul's. It's very smart, a very meta play right now to rotate your bot side up after you take the first tower and secure this Rift Herald. Generally, you see pro teams do it around the 12-minute mark so you can get the charge off for the tower plating.
Oh, Stalin's in trouble. Jayceph's in trouble, but the Death Sentence actually comes down onto Wonderland, so that's where the kill will go. 8th kill for JacksProject. That means he's legendary.
I mean, the death sentence is just that this game. Every single time that hook lands, the Kai'Sa's going to be right there to follow up with an easy Q. With the nice Vow completed as well, this Thresh is absolutely monstrous, and this Kai'Sa is nigh unkillable if you can land those cooldowns. As
we are starting to see Rift Herald come down. This game is turning into, I don't know if you remember which week it was. It was either week 4 or 5 when we saw the incredibly fed Caitlyn just going down mid lane and was able to like hold 3 or 4 people back on their own. I feel like we're getting into a similar situation as that game right now with JacksProject. Already 8 kills into this game in under 20 minutes, 2 completed items, and that gold has just been climbing with kill after kill, tower after tower. I'm very curious to see what Kai'Sa will build next and how, if at all, can the Sparkle Squad stop him.
Is it bad I don't remember that game?
I mean, it was a while ago. It was over a month ago.
I genuinely do not remember that game at all. But I mean, in this scenario, it's definitely something like that. 8-0 on the Kai'Sa, going for AP build, so it's going for the Nash's Tooth next on the Kai'Sa. We're going through all 3 evolutions as well, which make her super strong in these team fights during the mid game, which she's so far ahead of this Tristana.
Yeah, it's definitely, everything is coming up Legacy right now. They are playing like a team that definitely wants to make a late sort of season run, get into the playoffs, because when we're looking at the ladder before, there's sort of like 3 or 4 teams that stand up. Obviously, there's the Colors, there's KG4, and I think now we may have to include Legacy in that discussion as the possible team to win this entire tournament, because they're going up against a 6-seeded team and really taking it to them right now. Finally, a different Drake besides Cloud Drake goes down. It's an Infernal going over to Legacy.
And if you're Merrimac, that is the worst thing that can pop up, slaying the Infernal Dragon. It's exactly what you don't want on an 8-0 Kai'Sa already, and especially in this top lane as well. This Kled's is trying all he can to try and get a lead here, trying to carry his team, but it's just unfortunate, just too far behind. And the Sion's just too fed right now to really do anything.
It is, as you're kind of taking a look at that map, Legacy setting up for that bot side push right now. They have 3 members down there as Mirk just goes ahead, split pushes the top side. Janna out of position, an easy kill for Stvn, taking down Wonderland.
And this Janna has been the story of this game. I think, if the Janna pick was just something else, a little bit more useless, like a Nautilus or something like even like a Galio, right? Just anything in this lane that would help assist the Tristana or a Braum would be ideal.
I think, just something to survive a lot of these engages right now, because unfortunately Wonderland has just been bullied throughout this game. And as you take a look at the minimap on the bot side of the map right now, you can see Legacy just continuing to push deeper and deeper. They took down another tower as AC-102 actually is trying to get this kill onto Mirk, won't be able to find it. He's just too tanky right now with that Sunfire Cape, with the Ninja Tabi and the Doran Shield.
Yeah, there's almost nothing this Kled can do to him, especially with that Ninja Tabi completed reduced damage attack.
Critter, what are you doing there? What a flay! Stats the rocket jump. The death sentence just short. Good tornado. Wonderland coming up big. However, unable to connect with the bandage toss onto JacksProject means a tower siege may still continue right now. You have Stvn waiting in the flanks, looking for an opportunity. And here comes the ultimate, though, out of Axe. He's going right at it. The pop balls and combo is there. This is the combo they're looking for. They get the triple kill, essentially. 3 members go down for Legacy. A big fight for Merrimac.
That's huge for Merrimac. That's exactly what they need. As I said, they need to get in, Shadow Mist Kai'Sa, lock him down with the Amumu ult, plus the Neeko ulti. The Kled ult was exactly the easiest way to do it, right?
Yep.
The AoE, I think it's not a root, right? On the Amumu ulti, it's a...
it's a root.
It's root and you can't auto attack either.
Yeah, but they call it a root.
Is it?
Yeah, they do call it a root.
I thought it was some weird name for it, but yeah. We'll just call it that. The big mass AoE root followed by the stun means they can't do anything in this champion. Neeko, of course, doing so much damage as well. Proto Belt and Luden's now completed, plus the pen boots as well.
I mean, those are the team fights that the Sparkle Squad need right now.
Yeah.
They have to chain their ultimates, chain that ZC, get Legacy when they're grouped together, and this game is still very much winnable. It doesn't matter how far ahead you are or how many kills you have if you're unable to do anything in a team fight. It's up to Legacy to avoid the situation, as AC is actually going into a 1v2 situation right now. Bear Trap hitting, but he's not going to commit to the fight. No one's rotating up either, so everyone should be backing off.
Yeah, I mean, they just want to play around this Baron now. The Baron just spawned. They want to try to look for another team fight at SPS. Obviously, they lost one before. Kai'Sa still with a 400 gold bounty after going down is kind of a homage to how strong she actually is in this game. 200 CS at 22 minutes. That's near perfect, and that means she's a big, big girl.
Yeah, has that Gnasher's Tooth built as well, so more items, more damage coming out of JacksProject. Hopefully for the Legacy in their next team fight, that will actually be used before she is bursted down by the entirety of the Sparkle Squad. And something to take note of that last team fight is that it was a 3v5. There was no Orianna, and more importantly, there was no Sion there to really provide that front line and probably act as a buffer so that the engage from the Sparkle Squad doesn't have such a clear line. They have to go through the Sion. That said, teleport available on Mirk, so they are sending him bot side.
Yeah, of course, Merk going to have to drop down the other lane there. Just want to try to split up this map, of course. You got the Sion ulti to join. You got TP as well. Well, the who's the clever one coming?
Yeah, here we go. We might be seeing another engage. They recognize that Sion isn't there, and they're just taking a forward push for this Baron. Here comes the teleport. Mirk might be in a lot of trouble, but it does appear as Legacy's going to re-engage, bursting down CritterMiester. No, Tristana could be trouble for the blue side. Pop Lawson connects with 2, but it's not the 2 that they want. Look at the top of the map. That is where Kai'Sa is. As the bot sides continue to crash into each other, everyone's sort of focusing on individual targets, and right now it's a fairly even fight. However, Legacy does seem to be pulling away. AC is the last person left for the Sparkle Squad, and he will get run down by Stvn and Plëb. Away goes Skull. There is your ace going over to Plëb, and it is a clean fight win for Legacy.
They just committed so much there to get the Kai'Sa, and they missed half their abilities on the side of Merrimac. Neeko had to flash over and finally pick up that kill, but because the Thresh was sitting on top of her, she was able to stay along for long enough to get enough damage down to take out the Neeko, and now this is huge for St. Paul's Legacy. I think it's an inhibitor going over to their side.
I don't know. The set timers are still actually quite low. So really they're just going to shove the lanes in, but they can't really get too much from it just yet. They already have the vision around the Baron. I suppose they could have tried maybe set up for the Dragon as well. Something about the team fight, though, that I found interesting, actually. No one was really picking one target and sticking to it. It was just scattered everywhere.
I think it's because the Sion target, TP'd in the back there behind the fight, and so it kind of brewed up mixed focus. Also, I think someone else dived in down the jungle, so it was just very split up, very low the shop. And I think, SPS, that's a really ideal fight for Merrimac, right? Because their ultimate's at 360. They want to be in the middle. They want to be having attacks from both sides because the Neeko and the Amumu ulti are big range things. Where the SPS just want to fight front to back because they want the Jarvan to jump in. Orianna sits behind with the ball.
They're going to go for the steal. Here comes Amumu. It comes too late. He's still looking for a curse of the sad money. Connects with 4, but there is no follow-up there. Cut is getting run down. The death sentence on the pop off and actually enables him to not connect with anyone. Beautiful play from Plëb to keep Jayceph Stalin on his own. I don't know why they're playing with their food. Finally, JacksProject secures that kill and an Infernal Drake and 2 more kills going to Legacy.
That's almost game ending here for St. Paul's Legacy. They're going to walk over, grab this Baron, hopefully. And then from there, just reset, push them down mid. That's a huge win as well. It was a great play from Plëb there. He's just taking the Neeko out of his ultimate, throwing him away. And man, what a performance out here from SPS. It's been an absolute masterclass.
Yeah, Legacy has just had control of this game from the word go. They were the team that has been more willing to make those aggressive plays, make those shot calls, commit to those fights. Yes, Sparkle Squad, when they do commit, things have actually looked good for them, minus that dragon fight, because unfortunately it may have been too little too late there. But not even that was a full commit. That was kind of more Cud just going in on his own and hoping, yeah, maybe the team will be there to follow me. And they sort of saw what happened, like, don't want any of that.
Yeah, I think the biggest story of this game has been the supports, right? It's the Janna pick versus the Thresh. The Thresh is by far so far been the MVP for me. Plëb has been playing so well, and it's just been getting this Kai'Sa kill after kill after kill with these amazing death sentences and flays. I think Plëb has really demonstrated mastery over this champion, who's usually regarded as one of the hardest supports in the game to play. I would put him, Yuumi, and then obviously Pyke as the hardest 3 to master really as supports, and I think he's played a really good clean Thresh today.
Yeah, it's interesting too because during picks and bans, I will admit, we were kind of critical of the Thresh pick. We were like, maybe a Galio would fit this composition better. However, we also said, if it's a champion he knows how to play, the Thresh can fit in this team comp quite well if he can show that mastery of it, and he has stepped up and shown that. So Plëb 100% has been the star for Legacy so far this game. Yes, JacksProject has all the kills, but I mean, how many of those have been initiated by Plëb landing that death sentence and then having that sort of place of mind to not then steal the kill, but go ahead and let that Kai'Sa get the kills. I know there are Threshes out there that 100% just, that kills for me. That kills for me.
Use my empowered auto, exactly. I think the biggest thing that Plëb has shown to display how good he is at this Thresh, right? I mean, like, anyone could play a Thresh and have a game where they point and click with their hooks, but it's about using that flay effectively. He's been using the flay really, really well to deny the enemy what they're doing. And
we have a bit of a fight happening right now. They are still looking for that fight. The wombo of ults is trying to take down the health bars, but Legacy will actually go down. JacksProject was caught at the edge of that in the backline in a huge fight for the Sparkle Squad.
Yeah, that's exactly what you see again. Once I get those 2 ultimates down on the Kai'Sa, she's not strong enough to really survive. I think she needs a QSS.
No. Shockwave does connect with 2, but that's not nearly enough. I'm not really sure what LJP was doing there. Mirk also was going in aggressive onto Wonderland on the bot side, but is unable to get the tower, so just like that, Baron buff is essentially gone. A bit of a misstep from Legacy.
That's really huge from Legacy, and this is really, interesting now. Merrimac are coming more and more back into this game, right? If SPS can't find these opportunities to really end the game cleanly through the Kai'Sa and the Orianna, and if okay, where they come from? All right, whatever. I'm gonna complain about that at a different time. But once this Neeko and this Amumu can get on top of this Kai'Sa, it's almost game over. I think SPS really need to look to sit the Kai'Sa back, initiate the fight, wait for the Amumu and Neeko to come out, and then maybe even lantern the Kai'Sa into the fight, right? Just keep her away from the fight so she can't get caught by these big ultimates, because once those two key cooldowns are burnt, there's nothing that's really a threat to this huge Kai'Sa. But taking the Kai'Sa down means there's nothing that Merrimac can really, St. Paul's can really do in these fights.
Something that I also have to be a bit critical of in regards to JacksProject's build, no QSS.
Yeah, no, as I said, he needs a QSS or Rezonias, right? He needs to be able to survive the initial burst from those big ultimates, and of course the Kled is going to be on top of him. Use his ultimate to escape and survive, but he's just getting insta-burst by these huge ultis.
Yeah, he is. Also, there's actually, looking at some of these other builds, there's a lot of sort of odd choices that I'm not sure I 100% agree with. Another one is being Cuds opting for the Thornmail as opposed to more magic resist first. I feel that's...
I don't know. I mean... It gives the Kai'Sa grievous wounds, I suppose. I think that's where he's going. He didn't expect Kai'Sa to go AP because AD is much stronger. But I mean, her auto attacks still do mainly AD damage, right? I don't think they're adaptive. I think they do half-half. Passive does magic damage and her autos do normal damage. So.
I suppose, and it is all the damage is coming out of JacksProject essentially. That said, actually, you can't discount the shockwaves.
No, you can't. I mean, he's. The shockwave just the Orianna's not like that strong. She's also got a Ludens, which is not a Ludens, sorry, a Leandris, which isn't really relevant.
But they're each death pushing. We have mirror matching death pushes, but it does appear as if, no, he didn't know where he was. Active, he goes for the wrong place, and they cut off the backside of that engage. All of a sudden, Merrimac has no idea what is going on. Death Sentence connecting onto the Tristana. CritterMiester goes down, and that should be the fight. An easy cleanup for Legacy. Cud will be the next one to go. A double kill going to JacksProject, as poor AC is the last man left standing. Skull runs for his life. A triple kill for Jack.
Nice. That's a huge team. That's exactly what they needed. The Neeko caught out the key member, the one that's been shutting down the AD carry every single time if a Merrimac gets caught out by the Sion Q, and that's all she wrote for the fight. Once that Neeko goes down, there's nothing they can do because all the damage is on that ulti. That was the one that was chunking Kai'Sa, 20% HP, and it should be an easy cleanup for SPS walking through the base now.
This should be the game. Those death timers aren't as low as they would like. Wonderland will be up soon, but it was just a bit of a miscue coming out of Merrimac. They thought they were in the river, but actually they were in the bush. They go too deep. The Nexus will go down. One last death sentence for good measure as St. Paul's Legacy gets the win.
And St. Paul's Legacy, obviously they were super fire in the early game, had a bit of a shaky mid game there, looking a bit 50-50, right? But once they came back out of that game, they really showed why they were the better team and why they got that big lead in the early game. And I have to say, huge kudos to the Thresh. I think by far Plëb was the best player this game. Yeah,
Plëb was outstanding, but there's a couple little shaky moments, just not from respecting the Sparkle Squad's team composition. And Sparkle Squad did show, we know how this team fight works. If we find our opportunity, we're going to take it. We're going to slam down your back line. But everything that happened early game, the plays off of Plëb again and again and again, enabling that Kai'Sa to get as fed as she was, just... All it took was one mistake, and it was game over. And what a mistake that was. That was insane.
I know. I mean, I definitely think the biggest thing was this is a support pick. The Janna is a pick that if you punish it effectively for picking it, then it's not a good pick, right? Which is what we're showing you today. But if we go back, right, the Janna doesn't die 6 times in lane. The Kai'Sa doesn't get those kills. The Janna scales, he's better than the Thresh, right? Because you're able to put shields on this Tristana, which is why I said, obviously they have the team fight advantage with the Kled that runs in, and then, of course, Amumu and Neeko follow-up, right? Which we showed work, but because the Janna was picked on so heavily and that bot lane was so far behind, it just meant this Kai'Sa was able to run through the team fights and just get a big lead before the team fight comp could come online.
Exactly. I mean, it was just good play from Legacy, I feel, across the board. Their shot calling for the most part was there, a couple of slip-ups, but it's stuff that can be fixed, and this is definitely a team now that I'm looking at, okay, this might actually be a contender for the best team. Yes, they've dropped 2 games to arguably 2 of those other contenders, but when they are on, and that bot lane is a thing of beauty. As I believe we have some replays right now for us, so we can take a look at what we have seen in this game. We're going to start off in the bot side.
I mean, this is one of the big fights. I mean, biggest things early on when they first got their first blood play, I believe, right? This is very simple. Oh no, this is the little 3v3 skirmish. I mean, you can see from the prowess, obviously walking up trying to take down this tower early on.
No, this is.
This is
just Plëb.
This is just Plëb learning a great hook onto the Janna. Once you get that lockdown there, you see the hook just goes down, gets the plasma stack on, instantly killed as well.
That does it. Then here's where they turn it around. I remember. So Kristen's side comes down,
and he's the Kai'Sa, of course, as well. Super low health with Tristana rockets and flashes away with the lantern still there.
Boom! Max range death sense. As the ultimate from the Kai'Sa comes through, CritterMiester unable to get away. Void Seeker connects. Another max range death sense. It was just. If you want to see why this bot lane was so good, that was the fight right there.
Exactly, that was the thing that showed you why they were doing so well. This Plëb was just on point with these cooldowns, and if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for the punish of this Janna, and then of course, the Amumu overcommitting and playing to the wrong side of the map, I think the game would have been incredibly different. I think, the biggest things for Merrimac to take away and work on, I think, obviously identify your win condition, right? You got to understand, right? We got Janna Tristana. That lane's never really going to win versus Thresh Kai'Sa. No. We got to work. Well, where are we going to win through, right? Our top lane is really strong. We should play towards top side and not sit around bot try to get them through the lane phase. Just say, right, that game's lost. Let's sack it. Very solo queue mentality is what you should do in solo queue as well. If you got a losing lane, don't gank it, right?
That's what you see more. Ooh, actually on the bot side, this was the team fight that I actually believe went to the Sparkle Squad's favor. This is their team composition
this is
working.
This is the game out. This is a great fight as well because it showed why their comp works so well against them. Because the Orianna isn't with them, right? They need these 4 kind of members. The Sion's not so much, but you just get on in the huge route into the Neeko lockdown. Neeko was really strong this game. Neeko was quite fed. And as a result, you just see the absolute burst on those health bars drop down to all 80% damage on all of them. And that was really what won them the fight. Killed that Kai'Sa while she was still 11-0 or something like that. And it made it really hard for SPS to then play around these objectives and get ahead.
Yeah, I mean, again, it was just why was Kled on the bot side so much? Why didn't he go top? Because everything about the team composition from the Sparkle Squad said, let's play around top side. As I believe this was the Baron fight where everyone just brawled with everyone. This was pure chaos personified.
Yeah, so, I want you to especially focus on Plëb in this team fight, right? He walks away down here to try to take out this AD carry, right? So enemy AD carry is gone. The Jayceph misses the Neeko ultimate right on the Jayceph. Flashes through, but Plëb here lands the hook on the Neeko, able to flay her back as well and takes down that kill. While the rest of the front side, the rest of the side of SPS, the Sion and the Jarvan are fighting on the front side of the fight, not being able to take down, letting the Kled especially get access to the back line, making Neeko flash in by herself and go down eventually. And that's where they were able to pick up this ace in this fight. Unfortunately, both carries died, so they couldn't really get too much off of it. But it was a result of good vision control around that area as well. I think SPS played much better around neutral objective. You see the death bush in the end, of course, around the dragon. And they all had control words in the inventory, which is something I really like to see out of these low players trying to learn the game.
Exactly. I mean, vision wins games. That's a fact. It's like 75 gold for the best item in the game. And really, we only saw Legacy using them effective. I believe we should have our last replay coming up. And this was the one that ended the game, this death push. And by far, my favorite. The overcommit coming out of Kled. And just the timing. Boom, right onto the Neeko. There goes the back line. Janna is next to go as well. And unfortunately, the rest of the Sparkle Squad, they were already halfway down river because of the Kled ultimate.
I mean, like, that's the biggest thing in that fight. You know, the Neeko was the big problem, right? The Neeko was the one that was also kind of like strong, right? Had her items, was able to one-shot this Kai'Sa. So as long as they picked this Neeko off in these fights, they were good to go. And they did that perfectly with that. It could not have been better, right? They went absolutely perfectly for them, and as a result, they were able to take their fight out.
That honestly may have been one of my favorite team fights actually so far this tournament, because you have to sit back and kind of look at how hilarious that is as the entire team is just running past in the back line. It's like, guys, we're back here. Help. And then, unfortunately, far too late. Legacy has won yet again. I believe they should be looking very secured in the third place position, unless an upset has happened. Unfortunately, we don't have the live results fed to us.
No,
but
of course.
Legacy, do you think they're a team that could take down Colors or KG4?
Colors, I think there's big gaps. As I said, when we saw Colors play again on stream, they did win the game, right?
Yeah.
But I think they've still got big gaps in their mid-game macro that they really need to work on, because they don't know how to play around the objectives effectively and how to end the game, right?
Yep.
So I think, definitely because SPS know that they have a very clean mid-game macro, I think it can definitely take out Colors, and we just found out that Colors did lose their game as well.
Which means Legacy will have moved to second place.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
That will put Legacy now in second place, so that is currently our second best team, behind KG4, who we have still yet to see on stream. I really want to see this team on stream because they are fantastic, like on paper.
I mean, KG4 decimated Colors, right?
Yes.
They didn't die. They played a perfect game against them, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was, KG4 is that team to beat.
And I'm pretty sure they decimated SPS as well, so I think they might be another step up, right? They might be the
final boss, raid boss.
They're like the Flash Wolves in the LMS, right? The only team that's really, really good, and everyone else is kind of there, right?
Is fighting to compete with them. I mean, but if we've learned anything, though, from watching, I suppose, MSI, is that the Flash Wolves, anyone can beat anyone, and the Flash Wolves sometimes don't even make it to the semifinals. So, at that note, I think it's time for us to wrap it up. I would like to big thank you once again to the University of Queensland for helping us put this on. Thank you to both of the teams, both Sparkle Squad as well as Legacy, for allowing us to stream your game, and it was a lot of fun watching that one.
Yeah, I'm Replays is formal. We thank you very much for coming along and joining us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at, or not tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Next week, Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Back here again on UQ Esports, or twitch.tv/UQ Esports. Good night.